Hi, my name's Leo and I'm a boat builder and a sailor, and right now I'm on Tally Ho, the 1910 Albert Strange gaff cutter that I rebuilt with a lot of help from a lot of amazing people on the Pacific coast of North America. And right now we're in Panama, slowly making our way back towards the UK and hoping to compete in the Fastnet race 100 years after this boat won it in 1927. So we're here in Linton Bay, which has one of the only boatyards on the Atlantic side of Panama. And we need to do some work on the underside of Tally Ho, which means lifting the boat out of the water. I've been waiting for a few days for them to be ready for us, but I think they've completed their maintenance on the travel lift and they've made some space for us in the yard, which I'm very grateful for. So very shortly I'm going to start the engine, hoist the anchor and motor rounds into the travel lift bay. Of course, immediately after I filmed that last clip and started the engine, this rain squall came through. So I'm just hiding here for a few minutes.
The light blue.
Yeah,
Like that.
Oh!
Entonces, si van a lanzar, tienen que lanzar la una nomás.
So Tally Ho's in the travel lift, everything's looking good. They've lifted her out very carefully and slowly, and they're taking good care. I thought you guys might like to see a little behind the scenes. Here I am with my many camera bags. I've got a drone in the air, this camera recording, 2 more on the boat, and a handheld as well. So lots to keep me busy. Luckily this thing moves pretty slowly, so I'm getting all the angles. So quite a few people wondering why I'm hauling tally-ho out right now and what the work is we're doing, and I think especially because the boat actually looks pretty good under the waterline, some people are thinking it hasn't been very long since we last did it. Well, it was actually about 14 months ago, I think, February 25 in Canada, where I last hauled out and did the anti-foul. And the boat looks good under the water, mainly because, well, I use good quality anti-foul, but also I've been diving and scrubbing the bottom every month or two, and that makes a real difference. However, there are now quite a few patches of bare wood on the hull, some from where I've tickled a reef recently, and other places just from where the paint's worn off, and then also around the seams, because the wood in the hull is actually still moving a little bit, still expanding, it's still been kind of finding its place, and so the seam compound has been squeezing out, and so quite a lot of the seams now, that's squeezed out to the point where the seams are not protected by the anti-foul. Now, the reason I'm so worried about full anti-foul coverage is because of teredo and gribble. These are marine borers that live in the tropics that will eat their way into wood, make a very small entry hole, but then they will get bigger and bigger inside the planking or the centerline of the boat, eating a lot of wood to the point where the plank might look fine on the outside, but it's actually just full of air on the inside. That's a real problem for wooden boats in the tropics, so it is really important to make sure anti-foul coverage is good. And if I have already got some teredo in there, which is unlikely, I think, but they will die from being out in oxygen out of the water for a couple of weeks. So good anti-foul coverage is the main reason we'll hold out, but another really important job I want to do is install another transducer. That's a depth sounder, depth finder. The one I've got, it's a long story, and I'm going to talk a lot more about my electronics and navigation stuff in another video soon, but basically the transducer I've got doesn't talk to all my devices well because it's not on my NEMA 2000 network, which was an error, and that just makes it really awkward and not very robust. Additionally, the transducer I've actually got actually failed a few weeks ago, so that made what was already a not ideal situation into a pretty bad situation where I couldn't really get depth at all. So as well as replacing the one I've got already, I'm going to be installing a second one, which is on the NEMA 2000 network. That way I'll have depth in a lot more places, and I'll be doing some other upgrades to my electronics as well to make it easier and clearer to navigate. And it'll also mean I'll just have a backup in case one of them fails again. So those are the most important jobs while we hold out, but there are quite a few others. Of course, I'd like to replace the anodes, grease the prop, grease the rudder fittings, do some work on the head plumbing that can only be done out of the water. And a big one is repainting the top sides. Of course, you can sort of do that in the water, but it's much easier to do it out of the water. It's been over 2 years since they've been done, and they're starting to look pretty rough. They look good from a distance, but when you get close, you can see places where the paint has worn off. There's some dings, there's some bumps, some scratches. So it would be good to get that done as well.
Sleep, take me far away, someplace where my mind can play. Wind, blow my thoughts away to another day, so I'll feel okay.
Hey guys, my name is Luis, working in Linton Bay in Panama. My job is welder aluminum, a specification for support for the solar panel, for support for the lift the dinghy, a special welder for aluminum, stainless steel 316, general construction the special piece for different boat.
Great, man.
Yes, okay.
I'm Cam, this is Karina and Louis, and we live in Palma, Mallorca, Spain. and we've taken a year out of work working on Grand Prix race boats to sail to New Zealand for some family time. We're getting a few jobs done here in Linton Bay, hanging out with Leo, and we're going to see Leo on the start line of the 2027 Fastnet race, hopefully.
Okay, hi, I'm Kat. I'm from Australia.
I'm Dave, also from Australia, on the east coast. And this is the Alphane Gypsy, the mighty Alphane Gypsy. She's a 44-foot Bruce Roberts. Yeah, got it last year.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you
got it last year. Dave joined this year. And yeah, just doing work on her and getting ready to sail.
Yeah.
Any big jobs?
A lot of big jobs.
There's a chunk of keel. There's a chunk of the keel just hanging down there. So yeah, we've got some big jobs. That was an unexpected one too. So, and a few other unexpected ones, like the whole. There's a lot of unexpected
Everything.
ones. Big can of worms. This thing. It's just tired. It needs a bit of love, and that's like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, in a short period of time.
Hi, my name is Carlos Torres. I am from Venezuela. We're working now in the boat Tally Ho and help my friend Leo for the paint and the sanding, everything. I have one group, is not here now. It's Julio Araque is from Venezuela and Vicente is from Peru. We have 10 years here in Linton Bay Marina, the similar work. The boat, the Tally Ho's, is a new experience. It's one boat, very beautiful, very nice. It's the first time that we're working in the boat similar to Dowally House.
So one of my biggest concerns with having the boat out of the water in the tropics, where it's so hot, is the wood drying out too much, and particularly the wood on the deck. And obviously when I'm in the water, I wash the deck every morning with salt water, which helps keep the deck plank saturated and swelled up and tight. But here I don't have access to salt water, so I can use fresh water, which is great, but fresh water will eventually cause rot if it's left to pool in places on the deck and so on. So it's not ideal. It's probably fine for a few days every now and then, but for maybe a month, if I'm out here for a month, it might not be ideal. So the marina here has been kind enough to bring me this big tank and fill it up with water from the sea. They must have thought I was crazy, but they've been really helpful and they just sorted it out. So I'm going to try and plumb this into the raw water intake for my deck pump so that I can continue to wash the deck with salt water every morning. Didn't know that was going to happen. That's the grey water discharge from the sink, or the grey water sump. So maybe I have to do something about that too. I need a few extra bits and pieces for this job, so I'm heading over to the next town where there's a pretty good hardware store.
What size?
Oh yeah,
Small.
large, extra large if you have it.
Se te digo, no. Lo que pasa es mismo dijo a la empresa que vende.
Va
¿Sabes qué empresa vende te digo?
Hey, gracias.
No, ahora
I'll see you later, next time. All right, so we're out of the water, we're settling in, got my deck wash supply, met some of the neighbours. I have to say I'm very impressed with Linton Bay Marina. They've been treating us very well. They hauled out the boat very carefully and methodically and have just been really helpful. So feeling really good here. Now it's time to get down to work, actually get some stuff done, but that is going to be in the next video. For now, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has been supporting this project, especially at a time like this when there's a lot more expenses going out. Sometimes boat expenses all come in one go. And I just really appreciate the people that are making this possible for me to continue to do this, to sail this boat, to maintain this boat, and of course to make the videos about all of that. So I feel very lucky, I'm very grateful, and I just really appreciate it. So thanks, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.